he could be shut down at any moment. My stock, I've got £500,000 worth of stock here. Another problem I'm having to deal with. I'm thinking, this is not right.
Welcome everybody to another Outside Crowd podcast, and here with part of the usual crowd, we got Ryan.
Yo!
And we're delighted to have a guest. We have Richard Bickler from Arbour Landscape Solutions. Richard, delighted to meet you.
Thank you very much for the invite. It's a pleasure to be here to speak to you guys.
Thank you very much indeed for coming. So, there's a lot to cover, a lot of things. So the obvious things to start off with is tell us a little bit about yourself and the company.
Okay, so I come from a background linked to landscaping. My retired garden design mum and I built gardens when I was 16, before I could drive. So she used to design gardens and she would want someone to build them. And I only ever wanted to work outside. I hated doing anything behind a desk or computers or schoolwork. It was either sport, football, cricket, those kind of sports, or being outside earning money. So she gave me a plan one day. She said, I reckon you and I can do this together. But it wasn't for a customer, it was for a friend of hers. So, of course, it was free.
Free, of course.
It was free. But the customer was her very good friend, Estelle, in North London. It was a new build garden, but it sloped like this, okay?
Yeah.
She said, I want to put some paving in, I want to put some planting in. And basically the seed was sown, okay? Yeah. So I was 16 at the time. We built this garden. I hired a cement mixer for £10 a week. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard of hiring a cement mixer for £10 a week, but all those years ago, it was £10 a week. I'm now approaching 50, and if you could find something for £10 a week, you are onto a gold mine, I tell you. Anyway, we built this garden. I loved it. Made quite a lot of mistakes. Put up a mixer on a slope without levelling it up, and it fell backwards whilst it had ballast and cement in it.
Oh, lovely.
And it took the skin off my left hand, and it taught me some fucking quick lessons there and then.
Yeah.
Don't mess with certain things. Anyway, the garden still stood for about 25 years. Mm-hmm. So 16, then I decided I should really go to college to learn. In between that, I did my bricklaying apprenticeship on site with two of the best Irish bricklayers ever.
There you go.
I used to be on site at 6 o'clock. I used to have to get everything ready, get the tea ready, get all the bricks out, get all the boards ready. They'd come in at 7, and by 3 o'clock, they'd be down the pub. Mm-hmm. They'd work all the way through, and after 6 weeks of hod carrying, they gave me the trowel.
Wow.
And I learned bricklaying, instead of 3 years, 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I had a natural affinity for doing stuff with my hands.
Yeah.
So, did that, went to Capel Manor College in North London. I did a 2-year garden design and landscape construction course. And I'm not going to lie to you, it was rubbish.
Yeah.
The teacher didn't have a clue about the hard landscaping. I was there, I'd already done 2 years on the tools, so I taught some of the students. I didn't know about plants. And I suffered a lot learning Latin. Yeah. Because you know how many plant species there are. Mm-hmm. The garden designers, I failed. I did really badly, but I was brilliant on the hard landscape.
Yeah.
So do you know what? Whilst I passed the course, 27 started, but only 13 finished and got diplomas, I realised that if I'm going to do this, I need help.
Yeah.
So I managed to get someone called Elaine on board to help my mum, because she wanted to sort of step back a little bit. And we designed and we built, and it was just me, a labourer, and an XBT van.
Yeah, they're good, they are.
Right? And I was doing the quoting, I was doing the books, I was doing the landscaping, I was doing the maintenance. And on a Sunday afternoon, my dad, who's a retired accountant, used to take my books every week, because I tried it and I failed miserably. So he gave me this big book, he did my accounts, and it kept on going. The seeds were going. Everything came from word of mouth, right? I advertised locally in Hertfordshire, Boreham Wood, And I thought, I can do this. So in between college, work, apprenticeship, it was non-stop. Best time was for me was Sunday afternoon, sit in front of the sofa, fall asleep.
Yeah.
Because it's exhausting. It's mentally exhausting.
Yeah, draining.
So fast forward, I did the course, I graduated. I then decided, obviously, I'm going to keep going. And people and work just followed me. Fast forward to the height of Arbour Design and Build, which was my original company, I had 20 people work for me.
Wow.
However, it was horrid. The stress. 2016, I worked probably 9 days a week, and I'm not going to lie to you, I was an arsehole to my wife and kids. The stress, the anger, it was horrendous. And for a year, I'd got this idea that I'd had enough, but I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't even want to tell my wife. I was going into a hole. I'm not going to lie to you. It's, you as business owners, if you're self-employed,
Yeah.
you live by the sword and you die by the sword.
Yep.
And I'll probably get quite emotional at some point, but, I had a very good business turning over £2 million. But I was working to live, or am I living to work?
Yeah.
And one thing that I'm very keen to stress nowadays is to the new generation, the younger generation, is you need to make time for yourself, because you will burn out
Yep.
and you will be in that hole quicker than you know about it. So the business was financially fine. And my main guy, who was with me 15 years, I taught him from a labourer, landscaper, team leader, ran the show. He basically ran the show, and in 2014 he came off the tools. I stepped back a bit. He project managed. He organised all the materials. He looked after the clients. I basically got the work in.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. Now, he got 60 grand a year plus bonuses. He was on a massive wage, but
Rightly so.
we had work coming out of our ears.
Yeah.
And he then had a baby with his wife, obviously. Things then, he went from being really productive to dropping back, which is totally understandable. But what happened was the guys found a weakness in it, and they exploited it to him. And rather than him back me and the business, he backed them. So 2016, lots of things were spiralling. Work productivity went from there up to down.
Yeah.
And I asked him to look into it, and he denied that there was a problem. After about 6 months of me constantly saying, we need to address this, I think the penny dropped. But by that stage, it had become too late.
Yeah.
In between our landscaping division, we had a maintenance division. And I'm going to go back to 2012, when I'd had a husband and wife work for me for 7 years. Every garden we built, we maintained.
Yeah.
They looked after it with my help, but they had carte blanche. Unbeknownst to me, for 6 weeks prior to November 2012, they had been canvassing clients behind my back. So I got a phone call one Sunday, 20 missed calls. I took my girls to the cinema, and of course I'm not going to answer the phone in the cinema. They said, can we have a chat with you? I went round there, Sunday afternoon, pouring with rain. They said, we want to leave. I said, you're joking. I've supported you guys for everything. I said, I need at least 2 months' notice. No, we're going now. What? I said, you're joking. I had to take a deep breath and analyse. The wife was a little bit drunk, because she liked a little tipple on a Sunday afternoon, which is fine. And I said, guys, I need some more time. I can't just suddenly stop and we stop looking after 30 gardens.
Yeah.
They said, we're off. We're going tomorrow. So I left, and we'd had a bit of an argument. I'm not going to lie. There was no fisticuffs, but we argued. I went home to my wife, and I was like, what the fuck am I going to do here? She said, stop. Let's think about it. How are you going to do it? Within half an hour of me getting home, I was getting texts and emails from clients saying, we're putting you on notice, or thanks very much, we've decided to go elsewhere.
Oh, right.
And of course the penny hadn't dropped.
Yeah.
And I thought these bastards had gone behind my back for 25% cheaper. And even some of my most loyal customers who'd been with me for 20, 25 years had thought about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, back on the tools. back on maintenance, back on running the landscaping, back on doing this. I'm thinking, this is doing
Too much.
everything that I
Yeah.
didn't want.
Yeah.
Anyway, fast forward, I found someone to run the maintenance. I helped him. He then found someone else. But I was losing heart in the industry. And of course, fast forward to 2016, I'm getting pillared and I'm getting bashed from everywhere. If you don't have the work, the guys, stress you out because you still have to keep paying people. So I thought, what the hell am I doing here? Do I want this? The thing is, when you're a business owner, if you can be astute and build up what I call battalions in the bank or whatever it is, and have some other income stream, that should you need to stop your business, you have something to back you up, then you do it. Ironically, I then set up another business with another business partner the week after I stopped Arbour, design and build. I was in China with my new business partner. So everything is a whirlwind, right? I've closed one business. I've set up another business. I'm on the other side of the world looking at plastic plants and products. I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing? And my wife and 2 daughters had put a card in this case, and I'm in Hong Kong, and I'm a complete wreck. And I actually stopped for an hour, went for a walk, looked out and thought, am I doing the right thing here? I've just given up a very lucrative landscaping business. I'm now with a business partner who I know but I don't know. Time to stop and refocus and reevaluate what's going on in life. So that's 2016 and the start of 2017. I then go backwards and forwards to China every 3 months. I'm getting phone calls from my landscaping business. Can you come and give me a quote for my patio? Can you come and maintain my garden? I don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I decided to take a month out. I took the girls away to America, 2017. I'd been to China for a week, came back for 24 hours, flew to San Francisco. Of course, didn't think about the jet lag and the massive time difference, but I switched everything off.
Yeah.
I spent time with my wife and my daughters, and we spent a month travelling around the west coast of America.
Lovely.
That re-energised me, and I actually apologised to them because I was horrendous to them. I'd snap at my wife, I'd snap at my kids, but it wasn't intentional.
No.
And my wife is the most chilled, relaxed person in the world, and I am so grateful, for her support, and she brought me back down to earth. And we had an amazing time. And the rest now, fast forward, where are we, 2026?
Yeah.
I'm in a very different place, which, I'll explain to you shortly.
Yeah. So I was going to say, fully understand that. There are so many pressures on business owners. And when things start when growth happens, you need that support network of good people around you because you can't do it all on your own.
Yeah, I can say that.
And if you haven't got that, and especially if people let you down, trying to fill that, it becomes the most stressful thing going. And I know I was like that. It was with my company. You come back and you're stressed and you're snappy and you're miserable and all this, and it doesn't. And it's not really you as a person. It's just you caught in the circumstances of what's happened. So yeah, we fully
Can't see the
understand.
wood for the trees, eh? And I only recently myself went away for the first time. My girlfriend took me away. She said, "Right, we're going to Corfu," and I, only a month or so ago, come back, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was the best thing.
Did you turn everything off, or did you still...
That time, well, I'll tell you what, I didn't turn it off, but if I picked my phone up, she'd look at me, and I thought, if I want to have a hand, she would have cut it off, because, it was time to relax, and it took me 3 days. It took me 3 days to realise that I have nothing to do, and to be completely silent in my head. And once I was silent in my head, I could then focus, I could then reevaluate and look, and, the truth be told, I looked back and I was like, I'm not responding correctly. I'm reacting. I'm not in a state of mind to deal with all of this stuff, and I needed a break. And I said that when I came back. I said to everyone who runs a business, and things are getting a lot. I think you must take time, and like you said, turn it all off, because I came back, and I don't think if I didn't go away, I don't think I'd be here now. I don't think the company would be here now. because I needed that time, and it made a massive difference.
They don't teach business acumen in school, right? They don't teach the basics in school. When I left school at 16, right, I had no inclination of really knowing what I wanted to do, apart from not almost like a free spirit, right? I was creative. I could build, right? Yeah. I knew if I had good people around me that I could use their skills to then grow, right? But it took time. Things take time. And the one thing I always do is I'm a very trusting person, probably too trusting.
Yeah.
And that is where, now that I've been burnt twice, quite badly, it's taken me a long time to come back on a level where I can re-trust people again. And 4 years ago, I took on a business coach who's basically transformed me as a person and also my business.
Wow, yeah.
Which I'll come back onto. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to, if you don't mind, go back. We're now in 2017. I've had this break.
Yeah.
I'm running one business. I get this idea I want to start another business. Because my brain is, I think I'm quite high functioning, right? And I've got incredible energy and appetite. So I thought, there must be a business out there that I can create for landscapers and garden designers where they can come to one business and buy everything they need. Paving, plants, topsoil, metal edging. And I set up Arbour Landscape Solutions. It was purely an e-commerce website. I invested money into a website. I had my wife and I took on an assistant, and she lives in Suffolk, and I'd only ever met her twice in the whole 8 years she worked for me. Unbelievable. Anyway, I had no stock, nothing. I just traded on all the suppliers that supplied my landscaping business in the UK, and I created a portal which at first was awful, which, I think we had 4 web sales in 2018. I'm thinking, have I done the right thing here? But when we got the marketing right, when we got the look right and the feel right, and the constant me on Facebook, constantly me on whatever, Instagram, whatever, we started to build traction.
Yeah.
And it's reputation. And it's people knowing who you are. Can they trust you? When there's the bigger players who've already been around for 10 years, more established, what can you do differently that they're not offering? Not a lot at the start, but then with the right people behind you, you can do anything. Anyway, fast forward to 2020, of course, when's the start of COVID?
2020.
2020. And of course, things absolutely boomed.
Yeah.
I was working 8 days a week. Couldn't get enough stock in from these suppliers. Yeah. We'd gone from an 800,000 turnover the first year to 2.3 million in that COVID year.
Brilliant.
And it was unbelievable. But we're working a lot harder. Yeah. Every landscaper and his wife are working ridiculous. Everyone wants their gardens built.
That's it, yeah. Yesterday.
Yeah. How did you find it?
Yeah, I mean, I remember having one day off. I mean, it was a Tuesday, and it was only the only day we had off because it was a time where the government was saying, "Do people go to work? Do they not?"
Oh, there was that position.
We had one. It was a Tuesday, and I remember it because I thought to myself, "What do we do? What do we do?" And it was like, right, okay, we're not sure we can go. Let's just leave it for a day. And it was one day, and then the Wednesday, boom, back, and we didn't stop. We didn't stop. We were doing a lot of contracting back then at the time. We just started. I started in 2019, so
relatively
very young. And we had work in Tunbridge Wells. I had a team of three, including myself. It was 2 lads, maybe another, and I had to, due to it all, we didn't, there was work in town, there was work, in Tunbridge Wells itself, and I wanted to keep my team safe. I didn't know what to do, to choose. It was a difficult one, and we were just, as it happens, right time, right place. There was a chap that kept asking me for a bit of deer fencing, and I said, yeah, I'll have a look at that, of course, yeah, let me get to you. And I went down there, and I looked at his property, and I said, "Are you doing this all yourself?" He said, "Yeah, I could do with a hand with it." We were there a year. We built the most beautiful greenhouse down there. He handed me the specs, and he handed it over to me, and I'd laid bricks a handful of times. and doing beautiful brickwork, all reclaimed bricks, lime mortar. It was the most wonderful job, and I took my team out of Tunbridge Wells. Said, look, we're going to work down this place where there was nobody, and that's what we did, and that's what we did. So it worked really well.
There was a lot of work in then, and then as things grew, I needed help, so we got more staff on. And
where did you find the pressure points were in the business at that point?
Where did I find the pressure points?
Was it more sort of marketing, getting
No,
your supply,
I've got to tell you,
stock?
no, my wife was getting overawed because she did the admin stroke accounts.
Yeah.
So my business partner on my other business, I was still a director of Green Envy, the artificial company, but it became very clear that I was concentrating on the landscape material supply business. So Odette and I, who are still great friends today, she bought me out. She bought my share out, right? And to be honest with you, I got back what I put in plus a bit. And to be honest with you, I would rather have the relationship with the person than the financial gain and never speak to them ever again.
That's it, rightly so.
Because money is important, don't get me wrong, but I'd much rather not rule my life around money, right? It's really important that you have that balance between friendship, relationships, and money and business. And everyone said to my wife, when I was going into business with another woman, oh, do your husband's going into business with a woman, do you trust him? Even if she was the last woman on earth, I wouldn't go anywhere near her.
Yeah.
My wife and I have been together 26 years.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put anything like that in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we agreed that I would step back. I'd help build the business. I got an accountant on retainer. And as things progressed, she became full-time. Gabby wanted to step back a bit. She did it because she's my wife and she loves me and it's our business together. But I could see she wasn't enjoying it.
Yeah.
Right? And the one thing I will never do is ask someone to do something they don't want to do. It's like my kids. I used to ask my kids to put samples on porcelain tiles, paving samples or decking samples, and I had to pay them for it. And you know what? They hated it. Hated it. They're happy to get the rewards of what Dad brings home.
Yeah.
But I have a rule now. If my kids don't want to be involved, leave it.
Yeah.
If people don't want to be involved, leave it.
Want to be here is one rule I have.
I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? The business has got to be something that your heart's in, and that's got to be the focus, hasn't it? Rather, because I think there's a number of people who'll set up businesses thinking it's going to be a shortcut to make money. And if money is going to be your primary goal for something, then that's not, to me, going to be the driver of a good business. First of all, you've got to have passion about what you're doing. The rewards should come as a consequence of what you're doing. And I think that's always been my ethos. You've got to set out a good business first of all, and the rewards are secondary.
So on that basis, when business really did change, the margins got squeezed on all the importation because shipping costs went through the roof. Importing stuff from China went through the roof. So I noticed that because we do a margin review every Monday, margin had gone from 50, 44, 43. You could see things were getting squeezed on the products that we didn't own. I thought, right, I need to go back to basics. I started importing. I went to Italy for the porcelain tiles. I went to Turkey for the paddlestone walling. I went to Egypt for the limestone.
Yeah.
I basically travelled. I started travelling again. I went round the world for a year. I thought, crumbs, I got all this stock. Where am I going to put it? I found a yard with a garden designer in Henfield in Sussex. I thought, right, I need staff. I took on 2 guys from biggest mistake of my life. And I'll be honest with you, I used to be one of the biggest customers and then I took on 2 of their guys. Was great, but then things just didn't work out. And I'm going to Sussex every day from Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
To make sure things are done correctly, because things are turning up on site and it's not right. And I'm evaluating, thinking, what the hell is going on here? I'm building a great business, but I'm working too flipping hard here. This is not right. Anyway, the landlord and we had an agreement that, I was told that the landlord that I was renting from didn't have permission to have me there.
Oh.
So I've got 10 containers worth of products on the ground.
Oh.
He could be shut down at any moment. My stock, I've got £500,000 worth of stock here. Another problem I'm having to deal with. I'm thinking, this is not right.
Run a business, they said. It'll be fun, they
Joys
said.
of running a business.
I'm down to $5,000 in the bank, right? And I put all of my own money into the business, right? I did not borrow a single penny of the business.
Yeah.
And I could not believe what was going on. And I phoned my dad up. He wasn't the accountant on this business, but I phoned him up for some advice. He said, you just need to stop, analyse, and go again next week. And I did. I took a couple of days off. I made a phone call to someone who used to do some of my internal transport. I said, Sharon, I need a yard, and I need it next week. Anywhere that's relatively near to my house in Hertfordshire, that you can take my stuff. So within 2 days, she got a contract for me in Leighton Buzzard in a yard. And I thought, great. Cost me 10 grand to pick up all the stock from Henfield to bring it back to Leighton Buzzard. So, of course, the value of that stock is now gone down. I've now got to computerise everything to make sure everything that went to one place now goes to another place.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is just stressful as fuck. And I'm thinking, right, stop, get help, take your time, fast forward, 2026, and things have been running successfully in that yard now since, 6 years now. And I'm a tenant of a company that does my pick, pack, distribution. I used to have a display there. I used to have a yard there. I now go twice a month instead of twice a week.
Wow.
So I've now got the right people, the right systems, the right processes. Yes, I'm a good customer, but all of these things combine to want to make me do something to change. And I am not a person that changes very easily.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Virgo. I'm very set in my ways and I hate change. But I did it. And you have to do it for your own sanity.
Yeah. But it's funny, isn't it? How sometimes things sort of force you to change and to... I suppose if I ask you now, are you in the best position in terms of business than you have been in the whole of your career?
So 18 months ago, I did a complete strategy change of the business. We had 7,000 products on our website. I've now got 500. And we've got 3 external suppliers that drop ship for us. Everything else has gone. Everyone comes back to us, oh, can you supply us with turf? Can you supply us with plants? Can you supply us with this? And we don't do it now. And what I do is I get my team to put the clients in touch with those suppliers.
Nice.
Let them deal direct. I don't want anything off the back of it. I just want to be able to help people.
And they know it's done right. Yeah.
100%. I used to work 7 days a week. I used to be up at 4 a.m. on a Saturday morning, work from home, do 3 hours work, take the dogs for a walk, come back, do another 3 or 4 hours website work. I don't think I've turned my computer on a Saturday now for a year.
Well done,
Right?
yeah.
I've made changes. I've changed as a person. I've changed the business. I've got the right people. And whilst the turnover isn't anywhere near what we used to do, I've got a better quality of life now. And excuse me, I think that
The value.
over
Yeah.
anything else. When I see people drop dead at X young age, I think, I don't need this. I'm a person of routine, right? I go to the gym 3 times a week. I walk the dogs. As soon as I come back, I'm in my office. I do the same
But I think
thing.
that's good in a way, isn't it? Because I always think for people, if they want to have a successful business, a lot of it is based around consistency and doing these things, getting right processes, right people, and then implementing that on a consistent basis. What I found when I've worked with certain people, the problems often seem to be that they'll keep chopping and changing, but thinking there's going to be other short-term solutions to making things work better. And often the processes are fine. It's just a case of doing them consistently refining them, small improvements, and keep going that way rather than trying to make wholesale changes. Some point you might need to wholesale reevaluate things. But first of all, just get the basics in, just work consistently.
Systems, process, people. Right? I'm in a fortunate position now that I can leave the people that I've got working for me to do the jobs. Yes, they might need advice,
Yeah.
but I give them autonomy. I don't, what's the word? I don't micromanage.
No.
And I remember an ex-member of staff said to me, she said, oh, you micromanage. Well, after 6 months, she hadn't learned that, as a small business owner, you need to know the values of what we're doing here. I don't want you phoning people, pestering people, saying, when's your next sale, coming, I haven't had a sale from you. That is not how Arbour run.
Yeah.
We're very much people, right?
Yeah.
And step back. And the biggest weapon now, do you know what it is? Is we learn to say no,
Yeah.
right? If the customer wants something and we've got it and we'll offer them the right information, the right pricing, I've had it cheaper elsewhere. It's not a problem. It's not an issue. Please feel free to come back to us if you want.
Yeah.
There is no pressure now from us. Only because we've got to that position where we've got a reputation now that we're getting specified from designers. It's taken a lot of hard work, and there's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But we want to work with the right people,
Yeah.
and we hope they want to work with us.
Yeah. And that's the rewards through doing those, implementing those systems with the right people. So I think that's great. How have you found the industry has sort of changed? What do you think are the current trends that are coming in with regard landscaping? What's popular? And what's going out?
So I took the decision to work very closely with small family businesses on natural stone from Egypt, from Turkey, and we've actually ditching our porcelain range because garden designers are telling us they don't want it for their customers. Once it's gone, it's gone. I'll get it in on a special order, but we've decided once our 300 metres of stock is gone, of which some of it we're offloading to charity, it's gone. It's not coming back. Me personally, I go out to the factories. I design new products with my team's help. Natural stone has come back in.
Yeah. Do you think that with the porcelain side, because we had a podcast about this last week, talking what we thought trends, and we thought porcelain was going to be one that was, you look back in 20 years and go, that's very, very mid-20s.
Yeah.
Do you feel that it's just run its time and the fashion's gone?
So I designed a porcelain range to match the natural stone range, but I've decided I basically sent natural stone material to Italy, and for 2 years we produced 2 tiles that look like the natural stone. But the problem is they're very uniform, they're very contemporary, and they don't look traditional enough. And they're also expensive.
For the price, you might as well go for natural.
Someone phoned me this morning to said, I've got a customer choosing Indian porcelain at £20 a metre delivered. I can't even buy it from Italy for that, right? So I said, look, it's not a problem, but I'm afraid I can't help. And I've noticed that a lot now. Our natural stone, we keep stock, we do bespoke. And that's the trend.
I just done natural. I said last week, natural stone all day long. I always try and tell people the same. You're doing this project in the garden. Tell me why you want to go for porcelain. I've heard this, and this. Let me advise you. Let me show you. No, when you're standing on a porcelain patio. When I stand on a porcelain patio, I just feel like I'm in what's that game, The Sims or whatever. It just doesn't. The feeling is not the same. I was saying about how you look out the window on a porcelain patio, you've got a few leaves that have blown onto the thing. That garden looks dirty. You get a natural stone patio. You've got a few leaves. You still have a garden. You've got character. There's a story there. I can't. I'm very much the same. Where I've said to my team leader Rabbit that I don't actually want to be putting porcelain in. We don't. We try and advise as best we can. But yeah, I really do hope that. More and more people understand that.
I've put Arbour's neck on the line and my neck on the line, and we've put quite a few things out on socials and on mail outs, and the response has been unbelievable. Yeah. When you see the likes of London Stone, Paving Stones Direct, all these guys, great businesses, absolutely brilliant businesses, but we've decided to do something different. And I'm not going to blow smoke up our own arse. A lot of people have now copied some of the natural stone products that we've brought out 4 or 5 years ago, which is great, because what do they say? Imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery. But I need to be going out to the factory. So I go out to the factory every 3 months. I go and source block. I source new ideas. I get the factory who I work with so closely to design things for me. But what we don't do is we don't put them online anymore. We do private mail outs.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got a mail list of 10,000 now.
Right.
So it's really important that when we bring something new, we don't want the world and his wife knowing about it. We'll do it. We'll talk about it privately.
Yeah. So that's all done through your own sort of mailing group, and people can come to you and get involved in that, can they?
Correct. We work closely with garden designers and
Yeah.
architects now on specification.
You're right.
Right. If they've got a project where they want to use our natural stone, they send us the tender documents. Our team will price it. You know, we're doing some unbelievable projects in Scotland and the south coast
Brilliant.
where we're manufacturing pieces of stone that weigh 500 kilos that are going to be floating steps.
Beautiful.
Right? So we want to do things slightly differently. Not only do we keep stock to be able to service people, because I'm not going to lie to you, I love landscapers, I'm an ex-landscaper, but landscapers are reactive. They're not proactive. The one thing that I will tell any business owner who's landscaping, if you can be as organised as possible, organise and order your stuff well in advance, right? Anything that's imported has to come through the Suez Canal, has to come through the straits or this strait or that strait or around the Cape of Good Hope, whatever. Things take time. And as someone who imports 160 containers a year, nothing ever goes to plan. So be prepared.
Yeah, there's a lot of organisation required, you know, in any of those sort of jobs. So how do you think in terms of pricing, if people are buying stuff nowadays, is it getting more expensive given current situations, or are you able to keep a lid on things?
So the only thing that we've increased pricing on this year is our fuel surcharge cost when it comes to split pack orders. So everything on our website or anything that you price from Arbour, it's delivered free nationwide. If someone wants less than the minimum order quantity, there's going to be £100, or it's actually now 95 because we've brought it down, split pack charge, which covers the splitting of the crate, the labour, the wrapping, the delivery, and, you know, direct to site. It's not an issue. If people want less than the minimum order quantity, they can have it. But there's going to have to be a small charge for it.
Yeah.
Have I noticed costs? Yes, our import costs have gone up. Not a huge amount. Our raw material costs have gone up because obviously production of block, diesel, timber crates, packaging, things have gone up.
Yeah.
And we have to reflect that in prices, but I'm holding off now. I've left it be this year, whereas others have increased, we haven't.
Yeah.
Okay? But obviously our prices aren't going to be the same as one of the huge national merchants because we don't have the buying power they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we focus on the service.
That's it.
The service.
Yeah.
Service.
Yeah, very well put.
Yeah, that's often the way to do it. And how do you find that comes through in the way you communicate with your people? Is that the most important thing? Quality of service, communication, rather than, because we talked before you came on about the use of AI and how some people use it effectively, how some people don't, and then you're losing the opportunity to actually engage and talk with customers. Where's your focus?
So from our point as a supplier, because we're getting specified, AI is great, but it's more for the garden designers who people are having their gardens designed, right? Garden designers are fearful of their jobs. However, there was someone called Matt Keatley, I think, and he launched a product, an AI product at Chelsea this year, Rosebank Landscaping he owns, where he's selling his garden design services or garden design AI tool to the general public. And there was a massive backlash on the Society of Garden Designers forum that we're an affiliate member of, and the Association of Professional Landscapers we're a member of. And people are worried about their position or their jobs.
Yeah.
Whilst AI is great, there's no substitute for someone's knowledge, experience and expertise.
Absolutely.
And as far as websites go, I actually prefer my team to deal with people one-to-one rather than the website. The website is a shop front.
Yeah.
When I started it, I wanted to have thousands of orders, right, online. But now we've refined and restructured. I'd much rather Di, Debs, Jackie, Anna, Matt actually phone people and look after people rather than make it reliant on technology.
That's very refreshing to hear.
Yeah,
It's very refreshing to
yeah,
hear,
it
and
is.
it's obviously
Really
working
is.
out well for you. We're coming towards the end of our time. I suppose for everybody else out there, what's the best ways of getting hold of you, Richard? Is it through, obviously through your website? So do you want to give a shout out for your web address and other Instagrams and things?
So the first port of call, if anybody wants us, because our prices from our products are not shown to B2C, business to consumer. They're not. We only deal business to business, B2B. So first of all, register for a free trade account. It's www.arbour, A-R-B-O-U-R, landscapesolutions.co.uk. Right? It takes about 30 seconds to register for a free trade account. When you registered for a free trade account, you get a welcome email which has your logins. It has your first time discount code where you get 10% off your first order. There's a discount code for your second online order, or if we do the order for you, we apply that discount for you, right? You'll have full visibility for quoting, ordering free samples. You can send us your materials list, so if you can upload a list of your products that you need, my team will send you a free quote back within 24 hours. Quotes are valid for 30 days. And if you need anything bespoke, you would just get in touch with us via the website or via your email. You will get within an hour of registering from one of the team. So you've always got a point of communication. Now, I'm denied about being open on a Saturday, right, till lunchtime. And I used to be open till a Saturday lunchtime. But now, I've got to be honest with you, we just work Monday to Friday.
Well,
8 till 6.
Yeah.
We do what we need to do. But people can still access our website during the weekend because everyone has got a smartphone now,
yeah.
right? And to be honest with you, it takes me 2 seconds. If I see an application for someone who wants an account over the weekend, I can do it. Di, who works for me, Matt, who works for me, if they see it, they will jump onto it. It comes back to service. Mm. And whilst we're not available at the weekends, if someone sends me a WhatsApp, a contractor, have you got this stock? I'll reply, right? If I don't reply, it's because I can't reply, right? But I will always make myself available. And the one thing as a business owner and as an ex-landscaper, I've always said to people is if you want some advice, as someone who's been there, done it and got the t-shirt from a landscaping point of view, the door is always open and my phone is always available. So if you want some advice, I can tell you about the pitfalls. I can tell you about the upside, the downside, the highs, the lows. And this is something that I want to do more of now. As I slowly step back from the day-to-day running of Arbour, is mentoring.
Very nice.
And offering help to anyone that needs it.
Yeah, I think that's good experience. It should never go wasted. So it's no, good stuff. No, I suppose for finishing off, it's great to have you on board.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming along. It's been great to have a chat. So that's Richard, Arbour Landscape Solutions. And the other one we got next year is Ryan. So, closing off from Ryan, any final comments?
No, it's lovely to have you on. Lovely to speak to you. We've all, that communication you said at the end there. We've, every time we've spoke, it's always been the response has been straight away, and it's been great. No, it's been great to have you on. And thank you very much. It's been nice to see you again.
I really appreciate being asked to sit on here.
Great. And, thank you very much. And a big shout out for all the listeners again who are tuning in. The listenership is going up, so thank you very much. Once again, listen to on all the platforms, Spotify, Podbean, whatever they are. All of them. Look out for the Instagram stuff, and thank you for listening. And we'll see you again on the next Outside Crowd podcast.